about skills, mental skills, let's use physical conditioning to explain a little bit more what I mean. If your physical skills are strength, speed, flexibility, they're your skills. Psychologically, it's these. Your tools, weights, running, stretching. So for example, if you want to develop the physical skill of flexibility, you need to stretch. If you want to develop the mental skill of motivation, commitment and motivation for me are the same thing. You need to use goal setting. The tool develops the skill. That makes sense? Interestingly, different tools can be used in different ways. So for example, if you want to develop the physical skill of endurance, you go for a 1 hour run. But running, if you sprint for 10 seconds, will develop a different skill. Which skill will that develop? Speed. So the tool and how you use it can impact the skill that's being developed. And that's a really important concept for you to understand. You've got skills and tools, and you need to apply them in certain ways to get the desired outcome. But the outcome you're seeking is a high level of competence in these 5 areas. One other thing before we get practical is what can you actually influence as a tennis coach? This is taken from well-established, psychological discipline, cognitive behavioral therapy, used a lot in clinical psychology. But ultimately, your players will think, they will feel, and they will do. They're the 3 things that you can influence the coach. And they're all connected. If you think negatively, you will feel nervous, you will behave badly. If you all close your eyes and think of your funniest friend, close your eyes and think of your funniest friend that you know. Do it now, close your eyes. Who's the funniest person you know? A lot of you are starting to smile because you're thinking of your funny friend. You think, you feel, and you do. One thing with tennis coaching is if you focus on just one of these areas, the intervention can be quite superficial. So if you only focus on a behavior, so for example, you only focus on playing with the strings, that's good. But what happens if in your mind you're thinking about hitting a double fault? It doesn't matter what you're doing if the thinking isn't connected. So it's really important to remember. Oh, before I show you an example, it's really, really important if we get distracted, the principle of non-judgmental thoughts. You will get distracted, but you don't become angry that you're distracted. And that's a really important principle, because when you start practicing distraction management, it can get very frustrating how quickly your mind goes somewhere else. Don't be angry about that. Just accept that your mind is distracted, because we're hardwired to be distracted. We would not have survived, evolutionarily speaking, if we weren't able to detect distractions. So it's normal that we get distracted. So don't judge yourself for it. Just accept that that's part of who we are. So example, you are the #1 seed. What will my coach say if I lose? You want to, as soon as you recognize that you have been distracted, that is a thought that's negative in the future. It's not present. You're not staying in the present. You need to visualize that stop sign. It's a thought. I would say that's negative. And then just visualize the blue reset button. Blue reset button. Really nice, cool, calm reset. So this technique, when someone, have you ever heard a coach saying concentrate, focus, or stay in the present? I hated that information. How? Tell me how I do that. What do you mean stay in the present? There's no how, there's just what to do. So this technique of distraction management using visualization, it's really difficult and you need to practice it. But as soon as you recognize that you're in the future or in the past, or you're thinking negative or positive, you can use this visualization just to switch off the circuit, stop the roller coaster, and come back to the present. And it's helpful if you have a cue word or a trigger word, like, okay, how am I going to win this next point? Something to link with the reset so that you actually go back to the match. But when you're distracted, this can hopefully help us too. How have we got, Jonathan? 10? Okay. So we're going to keep moving. Control of emotion. That was concentration. Control of emotion. I'll let you read this quote from my favorite player, Rafael Nadal. Body language is one of the most important things that depends just on me, not you. So when it comes to control of emotion, we think back to thoughts, behaviors. This is very much focusing on a behavior and body language. This exercise is great for giving to parents. If you have a parent at a tennis match, they only need an iPhone with a notes app. At every single point that the child plays, they put an emoji against that point. Racket broken, fist bump, come on. So you have a from there. 5 on the phone, get the parents to track emotional control by way of body language. And what that exercise helps to do is create awareness if there is a need to change. And also it creates an opportunity for you to give positive reinforcement if the player is actually doing a really good job. And the one thing I'll say is, every player is an individual. So the objective is not to have someone have no reactions. It's just about creating awareness. And if you think that their behaviors are self-destructive, then you use this as a tool to create awareness. I've used this with a 12-year-old player that was just so, you know, racket, swearing, self-talk, really negative. And we did this exercise. I actually got them to watch a video of their own match. And everything changed. No coaching, just awareness. Let's have a look at this video. 2 professionals playing the US Open final a couple of years ago. And I want you to get your phones out right now. And I want you to get the emojis ready. Off you go. And I want you to track Naomi Osaka. And I want you to track smileys or angries. Okay? Off we go. Oh, you didn't get anyone got the emojis? Let's have a look. Sad, happy, 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 happy. Alright, good. Nice. Good work, mate. Excellent. Brilliant. Oh, I love it. So it's really, really easy. Every parent has a smartphone and it gives them a focus, it gives them a task. And you might not have to do anything after this because the kids will often change their own behavior. And if you're really struggling, show them a player that does it really well. Osaka's great, Nadal's great. They don't play against themselves. They're always working towards, you know, positive behavior. Okay, so players, can I have you back out? This red. I just need 2 of you, just 2 of you. Okay? Can I have one of you standing on the corner of the red court? Okay? One of you standing in the middle there? Okay. So, your exercise here, after each point, you're going to rate body language. So, it's a bit windy. This is negative body language. Okay? Over here is positive language. Red tennis. Oh, sorry, orange court tennis. Okay. Alright. I'm going to stand here. You must bounce feed the ball. And you're going to feed it into the backhand corner. When the ball bounces, thank you. No, we still need you. We've got one more. Come down this side, please. Can I have the other two guys? The other two players. Who are my other two? We had 4 a minute ago. Here, if I may go back to the slides quickly. I think Amir shared something yesterday. This is really important for your players. I call it the match diet. Chris Harwood and Sam Thrower should be credited for this work to British and UK-based sports psychologists. But you must have a balanced diet. Play people better, play people worse, play people the same level. The same for training. If you've got parents who always want their child to play with a better player, you've got to show them this. Because if you're playing a match that you probably shouldn't win, there is no pressure. If you're playing a match that you should win, that is when you're training emotional control. If you're always playing better players, there's nothing there for you. Maybe technically, maybe physically it's a difficult match, but mentally it's not difficult. No expectation, no pressure. So you have to help your parents understand that they must be exposed regularly to matches they should win, because only then they can strengthen the muscle in here. Hope that helps.
Good point about the muscle in the head. Very good point. Okay, I think we have one more question. One more? Merlin, if you don't mind.
Hi, I just have a question about motivation.
Yeah.
Because, so I've traveled to this junior tournament for the past 3 weeks, and I've observed this player. She has a high ranking of, she's in the top 200, and she says she has goals and all, but then whenever she goes on court, it's like she doesn't have fire or she's not motivated. Although she said she wants to win, it's all like, when you watch her play, it's like a flat line. And yeah, I was discussing with my fellow coach, like how do you actually motivate a player who says she wants to win, she wants these goals, but basically when you watch her, it's like just dead.
Is she trying, or she doesn't even try?
Well, she tries, like she does.
Okay.
But then when in the court, it's like she doesn't. Like, you know?
I mean, that's a complex question.
How do you keep that fire burning?
So I have a lot of questions back for you. My first question is, is that just her personality? And maybe for her, she's like you on board? Or you don't think it's that?
I asked her, so I said, have you been playing like this all the time? Because she knows that, yes, I look lazy when I'm on court. Like, I look, call her zombie, like she
Really?
knows that she's a zombie on court.
Yeah.
And she's like 3 months ago, I don't know, it's motivated. It's like she doesn't enjoy it.
Okay.
When I talk to her,
Well.
I it's like,
So without knowing more, let's have a chat later, because each case study is very complex, but it's around enjoying your sport. And yesterday we talked about autonomy, competence, relatedness. You cannot motivate your player. You create an environment for them to be motivated. And there's a huge difference. So I would focus on building those craft from yesterday, competence related, autonomy, fun, team. Over time, I think that can help. But each individual case is very different, and maybe that's just her game style, like Kyrgios, McEnroe, not right for most players, but for them it was fine. And every player has a different level of arousal that they're comfortable with, and for some people that arousal level it looks like they're not trying, but actually they are. It's just they're quite introverted as a style. So, but one thing you can do, I can put the slides back up, guys. you can get people to set goals, to drive commitment. This is a player needs analysis, and for example, on the bottom right hand side, you get your player to fill it in, and then maybe beginning of the tour, because I know you're touring, and then you go, okay, here's another blank one, where do you want to be in 6 weeks' time? And you get them to complete this, and you visually see, okay, where I am now, where I want to get to. And that's just goal setting, but goal setting is a tool that can develop the skill of motivation. And it might be goals for 6 months, it might be goals for one game, or it might be goals for one tour, but having goals can certainly help, and it's really important that they have autonomy they choose with you what the goals are. So that's another thing I would recommend. I hope that answers something. Okay.
I think you'll have a conversation again later because it's difficult.
It's complex.
Difficult to answer in a,
yeah.
It is. It's a real life situation. It's difficult to answer just like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Arayana.
Thank you.
One final one.
Hi, Bali.
Hey.
I have one question.
Good.
How to handle with the players, especially my players, Asian players?
The sport, whatever sport that is, I just happen to be in tennis, to do better internationally, to perform well internationally, and to make it better in all that sense of the word. So I did learn a lot, including part of it would be translating the content in the ITF Academy. Jonathan is like, did you translate all these things? I said, yeah. Why? Because I want to learn, you know, that's part of my learning curve. Other than that, COVID was for me and for Pelatih somewhat of you have a blessing in disguise thing, because we can concentrate on having webinar every month. So out of the 2 years, we had about 22 plus webinars in Indonesia with all sorts of different topics. And I see they're smiling, my boys are smiling, because I'm always in it. I'm always available in the webinars. And they cover topic from parenting, from injuries, from technical tennis coaching. So I did learn a lot from it, but I also had the mission by being there, other than learning. I wanted to impart to the parents especially, not just the players, that when you do tennis, you have one of the biggest sport with the most massive, I think like 2,000 plus, I think Lauren can better vouch for it, scholarship in the States. So I would tell the parents, the chance of your child to become a professional tennis player is like 1%. I think we all know the statistics. But by participating in tennis, by being good at it, whether you're a man or a woman, a boy or a girl, you can get a decent, good education. And I had the privilege of being in an international school and then an American school since I was in high school, or not even high school, like middle school. So I know it's a very good experience for all of these people to experience education abroad. So why not combine the two? From tennis, where you have to be good first to be able to be noticed. But in comparison to bowling, tennis was so much easier.